Hey guys, I want to show you how I work with WordPress on my local computer before I would first make changes on my computer and then push those changes live. And before all of the world could see my change, I want to make sure it looks good locally. So also a whole lot faster in editing, and having somewhat of a backup on your local computer might be nice, but editing is so much quicker when you are on your local machine instead of trying to push every little change up to your WordPress setup on a live production server. So I use Valet to get to my local projects quickly, and it's not just WordPress, it can be any static site as well. And Valet is Laravel's little tool to basically work with any of these items here. WordPress is one of them. And also, just the instructions are here and works with Homebrew. So this will be for a Mac. If you don't have a Mac, you could use Homestead instead. But this is what I use. So also I'm going to use Visual Studio Code and the WP CLI to download, install, and set up WordPress very quickly, all in one step. And then Valet here, I have this WP setup will be in the name of the folder, and then .test is what Valet has by default as the suffix of my local environment. So all I would have to do is go to the directory name and add .test, and then I'm there. So what I've done in my terminal here, if I go into work in progress, which I have a WIP folder and all of my code goes inside that, I have a WP setup folder I've already created, and then in here, again, just to mention, I've got Valet set up to this directory, so every directory inside of it, all I have to do is add .test, and then I can see what's inside that directory in my browser, if it's a static site or a WordPress or whatever other type of project that fits within Valet. So WordPress setup, I'm going to ls, just listing out everything in the directory. You can see that nothing showed up, and if I now open this up in code, you'll see that there is nothing here in this directory, and all I'm going to do is open up a new file just to run a snippet in VS Code. I'm going to type in WP setup. I'm going to click this, and you can see the first thing it asks for is a name. So I'm going to do WP setup, oh, there we go, setup site tab, and I should be over to the next spot here. Yep. So site name is going to be WP setup site, and I'm going to go to the URL now, and so the site URL is going to be my local URL. So I'm going to do WP setup.test because that's what I'm going to use locally. And then my admin email is great. I use username and password as SH just for starters, and then I'll always change that later as I create an account for myself instead of just having SH as the username. I'll use something else. So, alright, I'm going to copy all of this. So now that I've got my query built with a snippet, it's kind of nice. I'm going to move over to my terminal, which I could just pull up here in VS Code. And then I'm going to run this entire command right here in the terminal. And it's going to fetch. The WordPress is downloaded, generates the WP config. You can see all the files loaded up. It created the database, and then WordPress installed successfully. So it set it all up for me. So if all I have to do now is go to WP setup.test, and I have a WordPress setup. I can even add the extension of WP admin and sh enter. I'm not going to save it. Nope. And I'm done. This is my WordPress install locally, and then if all I would have to do is do something maybe with migrate DB Pro is a tool that we use to suck down all the data from the live site to the test site. It's a great tool. We've been using that for at least 2 years now. That is what we have so far. Any questions about the setup? Let me know. Adios.